Call it Park Bubba Sparks.
Booty, 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 rockin' everywhere. Booty, booty.
Short. Hey, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
YouTube, it's Desi and I'm back with another video, you guys. And I just want to let y'all know I am on my lunch break right now. We're taking an hour lunch break, so I'm gonna try to get 2 videos in for you guys. If you guys hear the thing in the back, it's gonna be the microwave because my food is warming up. All right, so what I'm going to talk to you guys about, I'm going to try to drop 3 videos for you guys. So I always do the video where I talk about, can you survive off of being can you survive off of a phlebotomist salary? Well, this one is pretty much going to discuss as far as for can you survive off of being a phlebotomist for a career job. The reason why I want to do this one is because I always see a lot of people saying, should I, go for phlebotomy first before medical assistant, or should I go for phlebotomy? Is it worth it? So pretty much this is what this is going to talk about for you. So first things first, can you basically survive off of a phlebotomist being your #1 career? My thing is, this can kind of go for a yes or no answer, but majority I would say yes. The reason why I would say yes is because, one, if you're an actual phlebotomist, like working inside of a hospital, you're averaging around $20 or more an hour. If you're pretty much a phlebotomist working at a plasma center or so, that's pretty much minimum wage. So you probably won't be able to survive as far as for that type of job career. But if you're talking as far as for working up there at hospitals or working at lab clinics, I think you'd pretty much be decent. Just to go a little bit more in depth, so phlebotomist is basically going to be the person or health professional that's going to be taking your blood. So whenever you go inside of a clinic and you pretty much see the person that's taking the blood in this area, they have the gloves on, they have the mask on, they have a shield on. You'll see the patient with the tight rubber band right here, that's called a tourniquet. That's basically the phlebotomist that's about to go ahead and get that blood drawn for them for more test results. So basically, as a phlebotomist, what you'll be doing every day will basically be you'll work early in the morning. So your shift usually starts around either 5 a.m. ending around 3 p.m. or it could start as early as 6 a.m. ending around 3:30 or so like that. Phlebotomists pretty much be on their feet all the time. I always do videos as far as for that. You're constantly on your feet because, one, you have to make sure you're monitoring your patient at all given times. Most people have reactions when giving blood. Most people have reactions when donating blood. So you always have to make sure that you watch them. That's my food right there, y'all. Also, too, phlebotomists always have to be on their feet because whenever you're dealing with test results, you have to kind of go back and forth, making sure that you have everything correct. That's as far as for like verifying the information that's on the tube. So basically you have to verify the patient name, date of birth. Sometimes if you don't feel so comfortable with the first name and date of birth, because some patients do have similar first names and date of birth, believe it or not, you sometimes want to ask what's the last 4 of your social security number. That's just to sometimes be on a second confirmation factor. I definitely feel like as far as for phlebotomy, it's a way to kind of keep you active. So I definitely feel like that's a job where you can kind of like do your daytime stuff where you are pretty much at work, and then once it hits the evening time, you have that whole full entire day. Now, phlebotomists usually don't work on weekends, so that'll be a shock to me if you do work on weekends. If you do work on weekends, that's probably more so at a plasma center because they're going to call you in nonstop. But as far as for working for a hospital, they may have like a set schedule for you, but majority of the time, phlebotomists don't work on weekends. It all depends on what type of department you're working for. Now, do I think phlebotomy is a good career as far as for to start off with? I definitely do. The reason why is because in the medical field, you guys, you have to have your experience with sticking people. Like, I know it may sound crazy, but you have to have that type of experience. Most people, when you're going your interview as far as for medical assistant or CNA or even home health aide, it all depends because you're dealing with some patients who could probably be a diabetic and they have to stick themselves or something like that. So I feel like it's always going to be important to have the credentials as far as for a phlebotomist. You don't have to technically be certified, but I definitely feel like it's kind of good to have the experience as far as for knowing what you be kind of dealing with and whatnot. I do definitely feel like phlebotomy is kind of like a good job to start off with. Also, if you are fresh out of high school, this can kind of be something to start off with. Now, the reason why I talk about the plasma center all the time is because most people who don't have a certification or is not certified with phlebotomy, you can definitely start at a plasma center to kind of get your experience, and they will actually get you certified within that job department. Now, I'm not saying that you have to take a test and pass that and then boom, you're certified phlebotomist and you're walking around here thinking you're big and bad. No, it's more so like at a plasma center, what they do is they make sure that you get 100 sticks, so you have practice with all different types of patient, also all different types of arms, because like I said, at a plasma center, you're dealing with a lot of scar tissue. Like most people arm do not look like this. It's not as clear. Most people arms are, and as you guys can see, my veins are like the type that's rolling veins. They're very small. They'll need a butterfly needle for me, but most people, they have scar tissue built up, majority all right here, even right here, and it's very tough to get to. But however, when you're working at a plasma center, you get that experience as far as for knowing how to handle those type of situations, and that can carry you on all the way to when you take on with another job. Also, working at a plasma center, when working there, you guys can also get experience with processing bottles. So most people, they work in a lab. There's different types of departments working at a plasma center. I started off as a donor floor technician, that's pretty much setting up the machine. Then I went to phlebotomist, that's pretty much sticking the donors, and then I got cross-trained with receptionist, that's taking the vital signs, making sure they're good before getting out to the floor to donate. And then they also have the job for you to do lab processing. That's pretty much where you process the bottles. Now, I definitely feel like, you know, getting that experience is definitely good. It can carry you on a long way when starting a new job. Salary wise, phlebotomist salary depends on the state that you live in. Now, here in Florida, it's not as bad, but I feel like it's bad if you're starting off at a plasma center, but it's not as bad when you're working at a hospital. You could pretty much manage around $20 to $24 an hour. It all depends. Sometimes they may even start you off as low as $16 an hour, but I definitely feel like that's decent enough because here in Florida, the cost of living is very low. Something I did want to add in as far as for phlebotomy, as far as for the process of how long it takes to become a phlebotomist is definitely worth it. You usually take as far as for a couple of weeks. Sometimes it can even take up to a month. If you're going to an actual community college or something like that, that can take up to 4 to 8 months. That 4 month will probably be the schooling part for you, and the last 4 months will probably be your actual hands-on, where you get that opportunity for that. So you can't really beat it. And also, I feel like phlebotomy is definitely a good field for anyone that has like a criminal record or anything like that. That can kind of help you out because they don't really go too in depth as far as for looking to see like, oh, this person has a felony, we're going to fire him. They're not like that. If they pretty much see that you're really a good worker, that can actually get you moved up. And the more you move up in the phlebotomy field, that can get you more money. So say, for instance, you start off as like, you know, the first step of phlebotomy, and then you've been there for like 3 years or so and you have a criminal background or something like that, they can probably move you up to lead phlebotomist or lead 2 phlebotomist, and that can cost you with like making at least like $25 an hour. So I definitely would, you know, try to check out with phlebotomy. It's definitely a career where you can kind of stay stable for a little minute. I definitely feel like it's a career that can kind of get you moving up to more places. You could be a travel phlebotomist, you could be at home phlebotomist where you could take blood here, you know, or the only thing is I feel like you have to have your own equipment if you're trying to move that way of doing that. You could work at a plasma center, you could be head phlebotomist. It all just depends. So try to weigh out your options. I definitely feel like it's something to kind of think about, but in the meantime, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and y'all stay safe. Peace, y'all.